Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Astros meet the Washington Nationals. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros' new second baseman, Jose Altuve, is on his way from Corpus Christi. So that's a little bit of the news of the evening, JD.
Yeah, Jeff Coverage is traded to the Giants. That clears the space for the 21-year-old Altuve, who was hitting .389 to lead all the minor leagues. It'll be fun to watch him in an Astros uniform. Turning our attention to the pitching matchup tonight, it's Jordan Zimmermann and Jay Happ. Zimmermann, a young right-hander, 25 years of age. He's having an outstanding year. Just 6-7, but a very low ERA. He's got great stuff. Good curveball, good slider. Fastball averages about 94 miles an hour, so big right arm for Jordan Zimmermann. For the Astros, it's the lefty Jay Happ. Jay obviously struggling throughout that first half. I don't know if there's another player in the league that needed the All-Star break more than Jay Happ. 7 walks last time out against the Florida Marlins, but very good in his career against these Nationals.
Coming up next, it is Game 2 of this 3-game series, and the Astros hope that they can get a little bit more of a lead. And last night they lost a tough one in the 9th inning. We'll see as Game 2 approaches in just a moment.
Houston is brought to you by your local Texas Ford dealers. It's the Astros and the Washington Nationals, Game 2 of the 3-game set. Jay Happ taking his final warm-up tosses. So let's go to the booth where Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies are set to call the action.
Thanks very much, Greg. And Jay will be trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. Here's the lineup for the Nationals and Davey Johnson tonight. It's Danny Espinosa, the second baseman, leading off tonight. Ian Desmond bats second at shortstop. Ryan Zimmerman plays third base. Michael Morse is the first baseman and cleanup man. With Jason Worth in right field, Wilson Ramos the catcher, Roger Bernardina and Jerry Hairston Jr. manning those outfield spots. Jordan Zimmerman is the pitcher.
Lefty Jay Happ for the Astros tonight. He has pitched 9 times against the Nationals, 3 times as a starter. Overall, he's 3-0 with a 1.14 ERA. He pitched against them twice last year, once as a Philly, once as an Astro. and pitched scoreless baseball both times, but received no decisions both times.
Espinosa swings at that one to even the count at 1-1. He's leading all Major League second sackers and homers with 17. He's driven in 55 with a .246 batting average. Switch hitter, and his numbers from this side of the plate are spectacular. 2-1. Jay Happ is pitching for the first time since July 7th at Florida. Long layoff for him of 12 days. That's in the air, and the infielders move in for it. Angel Sanchez with the call and the catch. One out for Jay Happ.
It's a long time to wait between starts, especially when your last start was pretty ugly. Defensively, it's Lee Bourne and Pence covering the pasture. Infield is Johnson, Barma, Sanchez, and Wallace. Puerto Quintero is the hind catcher. Jay in Florida allowed 5 hits, 5 runs, and he walks 7. So trying to get things pointed in the right direction. 3-11 with a .576 earned run average.
Ball 1 sails wide of the mark to Ian Desmond, the shortstop with a .224 average, 3 homers, and there's the 3-11 record for Happ with a .576.
One way he could get things turned around would be throw strike one a little bit more often. There's only a couple pitchers in the National League that throw strike one fewer times than Jay. One of them's Tim Lincecum, so it's not necessarily a recipe for disaster.
Interesting. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And Jolie Chassin of the Rockies, another one, and he's awfully good too.
Yeah. Both those guys have the kind of stuff to overcome being behind in the count.
Change up. I think a lot of it. You think back to like Pete Vukovich was famous. If he had you in a 3-1 count, he had you in his back pocket because you were sitting dead red, and he'd throw that change up and pop you up.
That's fouled away, and it's 3-2 to Ian Desmond. Good fielding shortstop. The Nationals have quite a double play combination here in Espinosa and Desmond.
Desmond very athletic. Has not done much with the bat this year. He's a threat when he gets on. He can steal a bag for you. Matter of fact, among National League players who qualify, his on-base plus slugging is the lowest in the entire league.
Desmond's 25 years old. Last year he had 10 homers, drove in 65 runs. He seems to have regressed offensively, at least to this point, by the numbers. And he cracks a line drive up the right field line into the corner. That bounces and stays right there at the base of the wall, and he's going to pull up at second base. The way he was running, it looked like maybe he could achieve third. But he has a 1-out double, and that's his 14th 2-base hit.
Yeah, his legs were thinking 3, but I think his mind settled for 2. Or maybe his third base coach did, whether he picked him up or not. This is an elevated fastball, and he just is a little late on it, but hits it hard into the right field corner. Speed is his best asset. Yeah, he's not picking up his coach. He's on his own.
Ryan Zimmerman had a big night last night. He had a homer in the 7th inning to tie the game 2-2, and then got the go-ahead single in the 9th. Did both the homer and the single to right field. There's ball 1 to Zimmerman. Home run last night was number 5. He's driven in 19 with a .255 average. He missed 2 months with abdominal surgery. That's a strike call for Jay Happ. Jeff Nelson is the home plate umpire. The count's 1-1. David Johnson, the 68-year-old skipper, in his first year as the Nationals manager, has an 8-10 record since he took over. Jim Riggleman leaving the job. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The Nationals right now are 48-48. Last night's win, combined with the Mets' loss, moved them into 3rd place. They're 11.5 games behind the front-running Phillies. They go to Los Angeles next, one of Davey's previous managerial stops. They've played really good baseball since June 10th, going 21-12. Only the Phillies have been better in the NL. That's fouled away. Last year, these two teams split the 8 games with each other. Day baseball is coming up tomorrow. That's the finale of the homestand. It starts at 1:05 at Minute Maid Park. Brett Myers and Livan Hernandez will be the pitchers, and the game will be televised on My 20 tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock.
The battle of curveballs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Funny, tonight the Nationals pitch Jordan Zimmerman, a 25-year-old right-hander with one of the best fastballs in the league. And certainly of the starting pitchers anyway. And Livan, I think his average velocity is about 83 on his heater.
Yeah.
But he gets it done. Yeah, he's fun to watch.
He really is, and he can swing the bat and feel the position. Swing at a high pitch, and Zimmerman's down on strikes. He helped Happ there to out number 2.
Happ will work effectively up in the zone with a 4-seam fastball. Also throws a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. That's one of the challenges for the hitters. So, got to lay off that high fastball.
All right, first base open. Slugging Mike Morse is the batter. He's been doing a whole lot of damage. Jason Worth slumping is behind him. It's the first inning. Quintero out. Talks with Happ. We'll see what evolves here.
Get him out.
307, 16 homers, 50 runs batted in for Morse.
Start tiptoeing around people in the first inning, you're asking for trouble. Especially for a guy who walks a lot of batters.
Strike 1 to Morse. Morse came firing out of the gate with 9 home runs in spring training. But still, he didn't become the everyday player for the Nationals until May 22nd. Since then, he's hit .332 with 14 homers, 39 runs batted in 49 games. Way up, and it's 1-1. So he has really laid claim to this playing time and the cleanup spot in their lineup.
So does that mean one of the keys to their season was Adam LaRoche getting hurt?
Maybe.
To hang with it for Adam.
Might have been. You know, Adam is
season turned around when Adam got hurt.
Not the way he'd want to think of it, but Adam is known for very slow starts.
Yeah, and then he got hurt, so he lost his chance to have his big second half this year.
True. Shoulder surgery. Big cut there, and it's 1-2 to Morse. Morse last night went deep in the 5th inning on a Jordan Lyles curveball and wound up going 3 for 4 with a line out to right field, the only out he made in the 2nd inning. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mike Morse. Since the All-Star break last year, in 148 games, Morse has hit .297 with 27 doubles, 27 homers, 82 runs batted in, and an .880 OPS. It's a full count now to Morse. Worth on deck. Nationals are 15-10 against the clubs in the NL Central. The Astros will be visiting Washington in early September. Davey Johnson's club hanging in. And Steven Strasburg should be back in September if all goes well for them. Morse takes the walk. 2 men on for Worth now. Worth has 10 hits in his last 79 at bats. That works out to a .127 batting average over that time. Now Clint Barmas running in to talk it over with Happ.
The cue going out. Now the shortstop's in there. Astros, I think, lead the league in meetings at the mound.
It would certainly seem that way. We don't have an exact count, but just watching the games every day, it would be striking most people in that fashion. Worth has 10 homers. He's driven in 31, and he takes ball 1. Jason, in last night's game was 0 for 3 with a walk. He got thrown out by Angel Sanchez. Threw behind him between third and home. He was out in a rundown on a pop-up hit by Ramos in the 9th inning.
Jay trying to clip that outside corner, missing away and up a little bit, falling behind a dangerous hitter. Even though Worth is having an off year, he has plenty of power.
It's 3-0 to Worth.
To me, that's why you have to be a little bit more aggressive going after Morris. I'm not sure what the thinking was, if they were trying to get him to chase out of the zone there on that 3-2 pitch, or if he was trying to throw a strike and just missed.
Worth takes a walk and the bases are loaded for Wilson Ramos.
Got to establish a secondary pitch earlier. I think he's had a lot of tough first innings, and he gets into these patterns where he's misfiring with his fastball. Then he's in fastball counts, and you don't want to throw a cookie there, so you're trying to pick a corner, or, and you don't have that plan B available to you. If you could get his curveball or changeup going a little bit earlier on, he could maybe make a more aggressive or more confident pitch with an off-speed pitch. Because when you're up there, if you're not trusting your heater and you feel like a guy's going to crush it if you throw him a cookie, it's tough to throw a strike. Your mind just takes over, and you don't want to throw that ball over the plate. When you're having the kind of year Jay has, you've had a lot of negative feedback. Kind of, you tell yourself, throw a good low strike here, but sometimes your body just doesn't want to do it.
Ball 1 to Ramos.
You see with his body language, the way he's recoiling on 2 or 3 of these pitches to Worth, and now this first one to Ramos. He thinks he's throwing strikes with those pitches. Home plate umpire Jeff Nelson thinks they're off the plate.
In the air, and Hunter Pence in right field makes the catch. Put up a 0 for Jay Happ. Really had to labor there in the first inning with a double and 2 walks, but it's 0-0. Top of the first now, Jordan Zimmerman, who's really lighting it up with his ERA, will face Michael Bourne in center field, Angel Sanchez at second base, Brett Wallace at first base, batting third tonight. Hunter Pence in right field, Carlos Lee in left, Chris Johnson at third base, Clint Barmas at short, Humberto Quintero the catcher for Jay Happ.
Jordan Zimmerman, just 25 years of age, last time out against the Rockies. Outstanding work. 6 1/3, 4 hits, no runs, didn't walk a man, and punched out 6, and that's kind of been the norm for him. He has been on quite a roll. 2.16 ERA since the beginning of May for this guy. And defensively, the Nationals set up this way. Harrison Jr., Bernardina, and Worth. Bernardina can make some circus catches for you out there. Zimmerman, Desmond, Espinosa, and Morris on the infield. Ramos, strong arm catcher behind the plate.
Jordan Zimmerman, a very interesting story. Had Tommy John surgery 23 months ago. August 19th, 2009. Because of that, his innings will be capped at about 160 this year. He's thrown 115 so far. Michael Bourne the first to face him. And it's strike one. He is making the most, though, of the innings he has available to him. Bourne at 289 with a homer, has 28 runs batted in. Zimmerman has the 5th best ERA in the league.
And he's a guy, as opposed to Jay, he throws strike one a high percentage of the time, among the league leaders. Just 4 home runs allowed. That's the number that really jumps out at you. 115 innings pitched and just 4 long balls. He's got 4 solid pitches. Fastball, curve, slider, change.
He gets a strikeout. 83 strikeouts. He's in his 116th inning.
Conversation in the pregame about a 2-seam fastball, and that's what that appeared to be with that good run it had moving away from Michael.
Angel Sanchez was a late addition to the Astros starting lineup. Jeff Keppinger originally was going to bat second and play second base, but he was traded to the Giants for 2 pitchers. Sanchez gets the start. There's strike one to a 257 hitter with 1 homer, 24 runs batted in. He was in the game last night at shortstop. Fouls that one away. Angel went 1 for 3 last night. He scored a run, put down a sac bunt. Jose Altuve is headed for Houston. Scheduled to arrive during the game tonight from Corpus Christi after getting the news that he's a major leaguer during batting practice for the Hooks today. Ed Wade called. That very, very happy bit of news, and Altuve is a major leaguer as of tonight.
Yeah, that's fun for the AA manager. You don't get that opportunity to send a guy to the big leagues very often.
True. Tom Wallace is that AA manager.
He probably told Altuve, "Hey, you're going. You got called up," and Jose Pai said, "Oh, I'm going to Oklahoma City." He said, "Nope, keep on going. Higher, higher."
Foul ball away. Altuve is listed in the Astros media guide at 5'7", 168. Bats right, throws right. Born in Venezuela. Signed by the Astros as a free agent in September of '06. He's worked his way up the ladder, skipping AAA. Played in the All-Star Futures game in Arizona and played well with 2 hits, turned 2 double plays. He had been playing some third base in addition to second base. Versatile sort, good arm, and it'll be fun to watch him. Foul ball, keeps the count at 0-2.
That fastball right off the outside edge at 95 miles an hour. I mentioned earlier Zimmerman's got a plus arm. Only 3 or 4 pitchers in the league, starting pitchers, average higher velocity than he on his fastball.
Off his leg, it caroms over to first, and there's the out as Mike Morse is right there standing on the base. And they converge on Jordan Zimmerman. Took that hot shot off his leg.
It's unlucky and lucky all at the same time for Zimmerman. It just smokes him, but it goes right to first base for the out.
The Nationals lost their starting pitcher after 2 innings on Sunday. Tom Gorzolani in Atlanta with an injury.
Little left leg shin burger right there.
He'll throw a few pitches to Ramos.
Saying, "I'm all right, Skip. It's only a simple fracture. I'm good."
Well, the way he's pitching, he certainly doesn't want to come out of a game. Well, he has been something else. The picture of consistency this year. A native of Auburndale, Wisconsin. He went to Division III school, Wisconsin Stevens Point.
Fighting Otters.
Are they really?
I got no idea.
Okay, sounded good. Brett Wallace finds himself in the number 3 spot in the order tonight. That's unusual. Wallace takes that pitch for ball one. At 285, he has 4 homers, 26 runs batted in for Brett. He went 2 for 3 on Sunday against the Pirates. It's a 1-ball-1-strike count. Last night, Carlos Lee played first base with Jason Michaels in left field while Wallace watched from the bench. It's 2-1.
Keep a close eye on Zimmerman. Make sure he's not favoring that leg.
Two and two.
Pretty good yacker he features.
Yes, it is. This is Wallace's first time to bat third this season.
With the pointers, Brownie. Wisconsin
Pointers.
Stevens Point pointers.
Okay. That's a new one. I've heard that one before for a team nickname.
And I don't know if that's because of Stevens Point or because of the dog.
Yeah. Hunter Pence is on deck. Hunter has hit third more than any other Astro this season. And the fastball blown by. Wallace takes care of strikeout number 2. Zimmerman has a 1-2-3 first. Quite a difference in the scoreless first innings for Washington and Houston.
Show, and even earlier here we've talked about this little item. Right now my monitor is rather fuzzy, but that's the newest thing that all the Fox stations are using, Game Connect, and you can get on there and you can follow the game statistically. You can tweet and you can be read by other people in the Astros tweet family or also other teams. You can set it up the way you want to set it up. You can also email. And that's just like our old email. You send it there and it'll go to the same spot. And we wanted you to take part in it. You'll be able to find out what that hit did for Bernardina, for instance. Brownie, back to you.
All right. There's a looping single to left center for the speedy Bernardina. 15 for 17 in steals. That's hit number 2 for the Nationals. And he is aboard for Jerry Hairston Jr., who just returned from the disabled list in an injury rehab assignment yesterday. So in the starting lineup against the lefty Happ, he brings a 260 average with 2 homers, 17 runs batted into the plate.
Bernardina base hit. That comes under the category of darned if you do, darned if you don't, right? He's working behind in that first inning, so he said, I'm going to just attack this guy. Strike 1, and comes right back with another fastball. Strike 2, but solid single.
Snap throw to first in the dirt. Bernardina back.
Well, I would argue that approach will serve him well.
Yeah. Well, certainly when you're going through a season like Jay is, with a 3-11 record, with a 5.76 ERA, a lot of thoughts go through your mind.
Especially when you're a smart guy like Jay.
Yeah. He's now walked 55 in 101 innings. I'm sure he'd like to whittle that down, but again, it's probably a function also of pitching for a club that doesn't score a lot of runs, feeling that those pitches have to be on the corners. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
That changeup right there had good action. He didn't get Hairston to flinch on it, but he should not abandon that pitch. And I like his curveball too. Some starts he doesn't throw it very much, but it's a good pitch for him. I don't think he needs to throw a whole lot more in terms of strikes than what he has done in the past, but I think he needs to throw strike one more often. You get ahead, then he can kind of work out of the zone and get the hitters to chase a little bit. But if you set the tone early, ball 1, ball 2, hitters are going to go into take mode. They're going to force you over the fat part of the plate, and you don't get as many calls from the umpire either.
Well, for instance, last night, Jordan Lyles threw a very, very high percentage of first pitch strikes. Boy, was he effective. Good pick up there. It's ball 3 as Quintero comes up ready to throw. 3-0. Zimmerman on deck. Nationals are 3rd in steals in the National League with 80. Hairston has hit .304 in his last 43 games. Versatile sort who can play just about anywhere. 3-1. Hairston turned 34 back in late May. Played for the Padres last season. Alongside his brother Scott part of the time. He was out with a broken right hand. He was hit by a pitch. Runner going. Pumped high to left field, but not deep. Carlos Lee is there. On the 3-1 pitch. Happ gets out number 1. And we face the pitcher Zimmerman now. Jordan has 5 hits and 28 at bats for a 179 average. That includes 3 runs batted in.
So even though this is a situation that you anticipate bunt, you cannot be sure of it. Got a pitcher up there can handle the bat a little bit. With 1 out in the inning, they may let him take a whack at 1.
Johnson's in tight. The bunt goes the other way, and it's foul for strike 1.
A lot of times the club will give the pitcher, again, especially a guy who can handle the bat like Zimmerman, the freedom to pull that bat back. So if that corner infielder comes too aggressively, go ahead and pull the bat back and take a whack at it.
One at first base line. Wallace turns and throws, and Sanchez is there on the sacrifice from 3 to 4. 2 outs. Now Espinoza bats. Espinoza, very good RBI man, who just happens to be batting leadoff with 55 runs batted in, and that's the top figure in the Nationals lineup tonight.
For my money, he's the rookie of the year so far.
Yeah,
ahead of Kimbrel and ahead of Freeman.
Okay. Kimbrel will have a lot of supporters, of course.
And voters would probably vote Kimbrel. Pitching for the Braves, likely a playoff team, and he's their closer, made the All-Star team. So he'll likely get it, but I'm more impressed with what this guy's done.
Backhanded Barmas throwing, and Wallace is there for the out at first. Big play by Barmas and Wallace to get Espinoza. No runs ahead, a runner stranded in scoring position. Barmas to his right, and then Wallace scoops it.
Bottom of the second, and as part of our Fox Sports Supports Charitable Initiative, we are proud to wear these pins during our 2011 Astros on Fox Sports Houston season. Stand Up to Cancer works to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. Bill?
Thanks, Patty, and it's Hunter Pence taking ball one. Bottom of the second inning underway for Jordan Zimmerman in a scoreless game. Pence with 11 homers, 61 runs batted in, has a .318 average. One hopper, Ryan Zimmerman takes care of out number one. Carlos Lee comes up.
Could have made that throw over the top, but he's not comfortable with that throw. Kind of got the yips with it.
Yeah.
Well, given the opportunity, he'd rather do that little sidearm fling on the move.
Carlos had quite a collision at first base. He was airborne on Sunday when Andrew McCutcheon whacked into him. 271 with 7 homers. He takes ball one. He's driven in 49. Carlos now with 27 doubles is tied for second in the league. He had 2 more last night. One of them drove in a run. It's 1-1. The Astros lead the league in doubles with 199. Takes the slider, and that's ball 2 with Chris Johnson on deck. Jeff Keppinger was packing at his locker late this afternoon. Now back. It's a month which finds a lot of change through trades here in July, with the trade deadline coming up on the 31st. And the Giants will welcome him into their uniform. And he said they had hoped that he would be there tomorrow for their game, but they have an afternoon game, so he wasn't sure he could make it there in time for that.
They should send the private jet.
They should.
Well, Tejada got hurt. Billy Hall's hurt, so they got some infield depth issues.
Yeah, he'll help that club. Line into left center field. Carlos gets the Astros' first hit. He's aboard for Chris Johnson.
94 miles an hour, but up over the middle of the plate on 3-2. Nice easy swing by Carlos. The Astros have their first base runner.
Jordan Zimmerman has only pitched once against the Astros. That was here in July of 09. He lost the game 5-0, but pitched pretty well, giving up 3 earned runs and 6 1/3. Chris Johnson with 6 homers, 35 runs batted in, has a .243 average. Looking at strike one. Zimmerman was quite a receiver. In high school, he had a 300-yard receiving game in football. In the air, and it goes to right field. It was worth getting there. 2 outs.
Probably could have thrown a little end-around pass play, too, with that arm.
You know it. Clint Barmas was hitting .211. He's come up to .246 in the last 17 games. And during that period of time, he's hit .344. Has 4 homers, 15 runs batted in. He's 2 for 2 in his career against Zimmerman. There's strike one to Barmas. Last night, Jason Marquis gave the Nationals 8 strong innings and won his 8th of the year. Gave up 2 runs, and only closer Drew Storen worked among the Nationals relievers. They really needed that after going a lot of relief innings on Sunday. No balls, 2 strikes. Livan Hernandez going to usually eats up innings. That game last night really got their bullpen back on track. Humberto Quintero's on deck. To left field. And way back to the wall. Hairston looks up. That's a 2-run shot. Clint Barmas hits number 5. The Astros lead it 2-0. Turning on the 0-2 pitch. He now has 17 runs batted in.
How about that? Zimmerman throwing that running fastball, moving in on Barmas, and that's Clint's power. Quick inside. Just the 5th home run that Zimmerman has allowed this year.
Yeah, that's really been one of his strengths, keeping the ball in the park. Varmus just hit one out, and it's 2-0 with Quintero batting next. Ball 1 to Q, a .246 hitter with 1 homer, 11 runs batted in. He just connected for his first home run of the season. That came in the 11th inning of Sunday's 7-5 loss to Pittsburgh. Varmus going deep there, and that's what the Astros had hoped he would do when they obtained him over the winter with his pull stroke with the Crawford box seats in left field. Roll to the left side and backhanded. Here's a long off balance throw, and what a play from Desmond. Spectacular work from Desmond. And the Astros in the second score 2 runs on 2 hits. Varmus goes deep to make it 2-0 Houston.
By the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. It was in 1988 on this date that Glenn Davis dealt an eephus pitch from Pascal Perez in the Olympic Stadium stands as the Astros won 4-3. Now, an eephus pitch is like slow pitch softball, very, very slow and had a hump. Well, Davis said it was my softball experience to wait on that pitch. And it's hard for a big league hitter to do, but he did it, and he got his 70th RBI. You guys must remember that.
Kind of do, and you know, that's such a rare pitch, though. It's a lot of fun when a guy does throw that pitch. It's a famous Ted Williams home run off Rip Sewell's eephus pitch, but there just haven't been many of those in recent decades, JD.
No, the last guy who threw routinely was probably Dave LaRoche. Remember the lob, he called it.
Yeah. Ian Desmond, who doubled to right field in the first inning, advanced as far as third base. He just made a terrific play to win the Astros second. Fouls that one away, strike one, as Jay Happ has the 2-0 early lead.
I recall it's Glenn Davis starting his swing and then resetting and then hitting that ball.
Okay.
Can't do that to Boots. You've got to, I remember there was a guy that you had to guess played a little slow pitch softball in his day.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Big Bopper.
Yeah. 1-1 for Happ with Zimmerman and Morse to follow against the 28-year-old lefty.
Lob pitch coming down and Glenn's uppercut swing. Bad scouting report.
That's to right field. Hunter Pence backing on it. 1 out for Happ.
Bob Walk, who was here broadcasting for the Pirates this weekend, he used to break that out every now and then too.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of guys, it's more of an end of career pitch. You're just trying to find a little wrinkle, something else to put in the back of the hitter's mind.
Ryan Zimmerman struck out. First round pick of the Nationals in 05. Fourth player drafted that year, now just 26 years old and a real leader of this team. He looks at ball one. Boy, with the infield they have together right now, you can visualize them going forward the next few years with a very good quartet from third base around to first.
You see this young team play, and you contemplate what they have coming up. We're coming back with Strasburg and Harper coming up. This Zimmerman kid tonight. You can kind of understand why Jim Riggleman made the power play that he made to try to get a multi-year extension, as he felt like he was a lame duck just dangling there. Because the future's pretty bright for this club. Now, ultimately they called him on it, and he's no longer the manager of the Nationals, and he probably regrets that. Maybe wishes he'd played it another way, but you can understand his thinking, wanting to be a part of it long term. It's no fun to be there just for the growing pains and then get dumped for somebody else.
True. Davey Johnson's now under a multi-year contract. Zimmerman takes the 1-out walk. That's the third for Happ. Jay, in each of his last 4 outings, has allowed 5 earned runs. Morse drew a walk on a 3-2 count back in the first inning. Pirates lead the Reds 1-0. They've played 6 at PNC Park. Getting pretty exciting around that place, with the Pirates in first by a half game over St. Louis and Milwaukee tonight.
A lot of people opened up their morning paper and cut out the standings and stuck it on the refrigerator.
Oh.
Buccos are in first on July 19th.
Well, it's been a while.
They got shutout pitching last night, and they're getting it again tonight. Charlie Morton last night didn't go the distance, but he gave him 5 or 6 shutout.
Yeah, 5. They had a long rain delay. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tonight it's James McDonald flanking Cincinnati through 6. The Reds have 3 hits, Pirates 2. Mike Leake's going for the Reds. A very well pitched game so far. The Reds are currently 4 games back in 4th place. Big cut there by Morrison. It's 1-2. Phil Boudreau has the stat of the week so far.
All right.
The last time Cleveland and Pittsburgh were both in first place this late in the season was 1921.
Wow.
I think he made that up.
Sounds good to me.
It does. There's a lot of credibility. No, he doesn't make it up. 1-2. By the way, speaking of people who work with us, happy birthday to Mary Carol Hazel tonight. She's not
MC,
working.
huh? MC's got a birthday tonight. Happy birthday, MC.
Right. She's not working tonight, but she might be watching. Phil is shaking his head. High drive to left field, over toward the line. Carlos Lee now looking up at it, and that reaches the seats. The Nationals answer with their own Crawford box home run. It comes from Morse. It's number 17, and it's a 2-2 game here in the 3rd.
Farmers was more impressive. He didn't get that one very well at all.
No.
But he's a strong young man. He did not catch that in the sweet spot. Second home run in 2 games for Morse, though. 17th on the year. Got a curveball from Jordan Lyles last night. And I believe this was a curveball here as well. Hasn't thrown many of them. First row. Big man like that, he should stop at second. Say, no, I don't want it. I'm not going to take it.
He probably feels that he's owed many of those after playing half his games in Nationals Park.
Good point.
Jason Worth drew a 4-pitch walk earlier. Calls it back to strike 1. The Nationals are in the middle of the pack in long balls. That was their 88th of the year. They ranked 7th in the league. San Diego shutting out Florida 2-0, bottom of the 5th inning in Florida. That's in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
That's the spot he needs to be able to command right there.
Yeah.
A ball on the plate, but down.
And Worth is down on strikes.
And that's kind of the pattern for a guy with Happ's stuff. That's a fairly typical approach. If you can start down and work your way up, climb the ladder, but establish that fastball down and away and go to work off of that.
Second strikeout for him. It's the 92nd time Worth has whiffed this year. Ramos is the batter. Strike one to him. Pudge Rodriguez had a little workout today. Did some throwing to second base. He's done some hitting. Says he's a little bit sore, but probably a few days away from beginning a minor league rehab assignment. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Baltimore leading Boston 3-2. They're in the top of the 6th at Baltimore. Saltalamacchia hit his 8th home run for the Sox. 2 balls, 1 strike. Who else has a birthday? Wilton Lopez. Happy birthday to Wilton. And Rick Ankiel. Birthday for guys on both of these teams. Mary Carroll, Nastasi, George Hamilton. A lot of luminaries. Brett Wallace back toward the foul line with the foul pop catch for out number 3. 2 runs on 1 hit in the middle of the 3rd inning. It's tied 2-2.
Sports Houston is brought to you by Chevy. Check out ChevyBaseball.com/Astros. Have a chance to win tickets and a trip to the 2011 MLB World Series. Also by Jack in the Box for a limited time. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax. And by your local Texas Ford dealers. We're all tied at 2. A couple of 2-run homers, and there are 2 guys in the booth, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
And we actually have 2 birthdays. Julie Boudreau also celebrating her birthday. Among people we know personally, other than the people on that list.
Many luminaries.
Yeah. Jay Happ leads it off, home 3rd inning. Phil's wife, Julie, is watching tonight. She watches every night to see that shot of him in the booth.
To make sure he's here.
She's probably playing the piano somewhere. There's strike 1 to Jay Happ, who has 7 hits and 29 at bats. A .241 average with a homer, 4 runs batted in, a double. And it's a 1-1 count.
We're going to get a cardboard cutout that looks like Boots and just stick it there in the corner. And so Boots can go out and pursue his passion of singing karaoke around town.
Diving Zimmerman. High throw, and Happ tries to dodge and makes it to first.
Oh, my. A slow developing play.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we've talked about Zimmerman's throwing problems. And Happ had pretty much conceded that he was out.
Sailed on him, and then Morse couldn't tag him. Happ went to the inside of the line.
Showing a little dexterity. The big guy, 6'6", Jay Happ, taking evasive action.
An error on Zimmerman, number 7 for him. Now Michael Bourne shoots one foul for strike one. Our leaders of the game is brought to you by United, proud to fly the Houston Astros. Michael Bourne is tied for 4th with 60 runs scored. He's 5th in hits with 110. Double play depth for Desmond and Espinoza. Strike to Bourne, and it's 0-2 to Michael. He gets a strikeout. That's number 3. Angel Sanchez, who grounded off his leg to the first baseman Morse. Will be around for the second time now.
Zimmerman, one of those guys that if you were to pull the players after the game and say, hey, what's this guy's best pitch? You might get 3 different answers. The slider he just threw Bourne was nasty, showing an outstanding curveball, and he's reached 95 on the gun.
Foul back. There's strike one. The Nationals really like his stuff, the way he commands it. He made only 7 starts last year because of the Tommy John surgery the year before. 41 pitches, 32 strikes, very high percentage. His major league debut was in 09 with Washington. That's fouled, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Last year, as he worked his way back from that surgery, he pitched several games in the minor leagues. Those numbers so far tonight, unusual for him. He's had 14 quality starts of his 18. Fouled away.
2 starts ago, he allowed 4 earned runs. But from May 1st on, every other start he has made is allowed 2 earned runs or less. Except for one game. One game he allowed 3. So a whole lot of 2s and 1s. And my goodness, it's hard to beat that guy.
It really is hard to beat him. Fouled away. He lost 1-0 against the Angels on the road. He lost back-to-back 2-1 games at Baltimore and at home against San Diego.
Physically, he reminds me a little bit of Oswalt. Maybe a little thicker.
Yeah. Listed at 6'2" at 220.
And I think Roy was a pretty good receiver too.
Was he?
In high school, yeah. What's Roy, about 6'2", $190?
Sounds about right. Ball 2 to Sanchez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, because of the late developing trade today of Jeff Keppinger and the call-up of Jose Altuve. We didn't get a chance to talk a lot with Brad Mills about his plans for Altuve, but assuming if you're going to call up a player from AA, you're going to.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy.
That's a strikeout. That's number 4 for Zimmerman.
He'll be the shortest infielder the Astros have had since Biggio.
We're going to have to do some checking too to see who the shortest infielder ever was.
That comment was on command. Our Saturday night partner wanted me to pick on Biggio. So.
I wondered where that came from. Thanks, Baggy. Phil Boudreau thinks maybe Nellie Fox was the shortest infielder for this club, or Casey Candell. Brad Wallace takes strike one. We're talking a couple weeks ago about guys who were really short. Harry Chappas.
Yeah, Harry was, what, 5'3"?
Something like that. Freddie Patek. What, 5'5" or so. Freddie played for a long time. Very good shortstop for Kansas City. To left center field. Bernardine is calling. And taking it for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, an error, a man left after 3. It's tied 2-2.
in the fourth, and be sure to catch the 9-inning lunch break for every weekday afternoon home game this season, with the next date coming up tomorrow as the Astros host the Nationals at 1:05. You get a field box ticket and $20 in food and beverage credit, all for just $45. Visit astros.com/value for tickets. And fans, don't forget to get on our Game Connect at our foxsportshouston.com website. Game Connect, Greg Lucas has been talking about it all night. He's on there. You can interact with him. But guess what? I am on it too and would love to hear from you. So check it out at foxsportshouston.com. Go to Game Connect. Bill?
Do you like those graphics pretty well, Patty?
I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. A lot to
Very
look at
informative, very interactive. It's great.
All right, check it out. Roger Bernardina leads it off in the fourth inning of a 2-2 game. 3 hits for the Nationals, 2 for the Astros. Bernardina got one of those hits, and that was a single to left center. It's fouled away, strike one. Bernardina, one of these center fielders who has played that position. Rick Ankiel, another. But it seems that since Davey Johnson took over, Bernardina's gotten a long look. Bunted in the air, and Brett Wallace is there. It's an easy out, number 1. Boy, you've got to love that when you're pitching. Guy tries to lay down a bunt and he pops it up.
Yep, absolutely.
Jerry Hairston Jr. had a 3-1 count and then couldn't do a lot with it. He hit a fly ball to the left. First time up. Hear about the AAA no-hitter. Omaha 4, Memphis nothing.
Did not. What happened?
Pretty good story anyway. There's strike one. Luis Mendoza pitched Omaha's first 9-inning individual no-hitter in 23 years Monday night. But they had some scoring changes. Fly ball deep left center field. Carlos Lee back toward the bullpen wall. And that one smacks off that wall and into second base with a double is Hairston. That time he got into one.
He hit that as soon as you said scoring changes, and I thought, my goodness, he is going to change the score, but he didn't pull it enough. That's to settle for a 1-out double. Hit the ball to left field last time, but didn't get much of it. This time he squares it up pretty well. Back in the original configuration of this ballpark, that would have been a home run.
Yeah, sure would have. Yeah, the original yellow line was just above the 362 sign.
Yeah, where it picks up there on the under the ConocoPhillips. That line extended all the way across.
So that would have been a home run back in those days.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Home runs were flying out of this park, so the Astros decided to make it a little bit tougher, and they raised that yellow line to where it is now. About twice as high as it was originally. Zimmerman now shoots one, and a line shot to Happ. No, it was a one-hopper to Happ, so he gets him at first base. He took a look at the runner first, Hairston, and that's a very quick comebacker, but Happ was quick with a glove for out number 2.
Yeah, a little Cesar Maniago with the glove save. Took a look and made the what appeared to be the wise play. I don't think he would have been able to get Hairston.
No. But 2 outs for Jay now, and it's Espinoza batting. Espinoza has popped a second and grounded in the hole to Clint Barmas, who made an excellent play to get him. Talked earlier about his numbers as a right-handed batter. 87 at bats, 552 slugging percentage, 367 on base average. I haven't seen the play though, but in the bottom of the 9th, the Memphis leadoff man Tyler Green hit a fly ball to left. Left fielder apparently got a slow jump, but then made a diving attempt. The ball bounced off his glove. It was ruled an error. Then it was changed to a hit, and then it was changed back to an error.
Really?
Yeah.
He made a diving try for it?
Well,
they give him an error?
That's what I heard from one account. Now, just reading the story, not having seen it, the left fielder said it was hit at him and kind of crossed him up. He turned one way to the left, then back to the right, and jumped and hit off his glove. One hopper, Barmas throwing. And in the 4th inning, it's no runs a hit and a man stranded. It's 2-2.
In the bottom of the fourth, still tied at 2. And hey, baseball fans, Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you would like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. A little more rain in the area today, so it's been a little bit nicer, cooler outside. Hope for some more in this terrible drought. 2-2 ball game here. Battle of 2-run homers. Clint Barmas hit one. In the second inning, it went to the Landry's Crawford boxes, and then Mike Morse answered with one also to that same general area in the third to tie it. Hunter Pence grounded out in the second inning. Jordan Zimmerman delivers, and it's strike one. Mets lead the Cardinals 4-2 in New York in the bottom of the seventh inning. Lance Berkman hit his 26th home run. It's a 1-1 count. Oh, the stories about possible trades are there every day for you to read. Carlos Beltran. The latest story about him is that his agent Scott Boras put in his contract, which is what, a 6 or 7 year deal, right? It's the final year on a 7-year deal, that there's no draft choice compensation for him when he leaves at the end of the season. Pence is down on strikes. That's strikeout number 5. So if you're thinking about trading for Carlos Beltran, you're going to get him for 2 months. Then you think normally, well, I'll get a draft choice if he doesn't re-sign, but not in this case.
Really?
Yeah. So, all of a sudden, it's not such a good deal if it's been a deal for him. Carlos Lee singled to left and rode home on the Barmas 2-run homer.
Unless it's to a place where he really wants to go, and then you just put that back and just rewrite the contract.
There you go. Everything is subject to change. It's 2-0. Cubs lead the Phillies 2-0 after 3. 3 no-hit innings so far from Matt Garza of Chicago. Starlin Castro hit his 3rd homer. It's 2-1 to Carlos.
Astros with the afternoon game here tomorrow, and then the weekend in Chicago. Looks like it'll be Zambrano Friday night, I believe, for the Cubs, or Friday afternoon rather.
By the way, that's a My 20 game also on Friday, in addition to tomorrow's game at 1 o'clock. 2-2. Chris Johnson's on deck.
Norris, right, for the Astros on Friday?
I believe so, yes. Bud Norris is down. TBA down for the Cubbies. You said Zambrano looks
well,
to be that guy.
I don't know if they've announced their probables. It's not in the Astros game notes, but I think it's Zambrano, Wells, and Lopez. Some combination, something like that.
Ground ball past the diving Desmond. Carlos Lee 2 for 2. And his batting average has been on a steady climb for weeks now. Chris Johnson bats next. Bud Norris Friday, Wandy Rodriguez Saturday, Jordan Lyles Sunday in Chicago. Red Myers tomorrow against Livan Hernandez.
Astros swept the Cubs last time they were there, their only sweep of the year. And their only 3-game winning streak of the year. Actually part of a 4-game winning streak.
Another one of those would sound pretty tantalizing right now.
Yeah, they won 3 in a row in Chicago, then went out to San Diego, won the first one of that series, and then dropped the final 3 to the Pods.
Barmas is on deck with 1 out.
I guess you would have to say that's the high point of the season so far for the Astros, that sweep in Chicago.
Yeah. They scored 20 runs in the 3 games.
They've only won 8 games since then, and that was back end of May, beginning of June.
Losing 31 of 39. There's a shot, fair. It kicks out toward the center fielder. And here goes Carlos Lee into third base. Throw into second. And that's a double for Johnson. Great work by the ball boy down there. Getting out of the way of that carom.
Not once, but twice. They had to clear out so the ball off the bat of Johnson didn't get him, and then he's got the carom to contend with.
A lot of moving parts down that left field line. As it's second and third for Clint Barmas with one out. 20th double for CJ. Quintero's on deck. Here's some outstanding footwork.
You got to remember to take the stool, and then you just have to concentrate. The key is getting far enough away so you have time to react to the carom. He was out, or actually earlier today, working on that. He had one of the coaches hitting fungos off of there, and he was working on his reaction times. Kind of a simulated game for the ball boy. He was actually pretending to talk to a guy in the stands.
Barmas ripped the 2-run homer. Tell you what, you take the normal, average, coordinated person, let him try that play, you'd have some interesting results. People falling over the stool. Quick foul, and it's 0-2.
The temptation to take a tumble like that has to be great, right? You'd be a YouTube star overnight.
Yeah, you would.
Trying to sneak a piece of cheese by Barmas on an 0-2 pitch last time. And Clint equal to the task, and here he is again. No balls, 2 strikes. Clint's thinking, no way is he coming back in there again. No way is he coming in there. He's coming in there.
He is doing it. Tomahawks that one foul.
Again, he was supposed to come in there. His arm wouldn't let him. No, last time we tried that didn't work so good.
You ever get right there, right before your release point, and your arm just wouldn't do what your brain
yeah. Because you remember last time I tried to go in there, it didn't work so good.
Slider makes it 1-2. What do you think about this Nationals team and what they're building here with players like Jordan Zimmerman, 25 years old, Steven Strasburg, Drew Storen,
catcher's young Ramos.
Yes, he is. Middle infielders in tight, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, I like their club. I like their future. Ryan Zimmerman's only 26 years old.
You talked about Bryce Harper last night.
He could be a big leaguer next year, eh? The way he's going.
It's possible. He's bumped up to Double-A. Line shot into center field by Barmas. Scoring lead. Stop sign for the trailing runner Johnson. And it's 3-2 Houston. Driven in all 3.
Well, that's a slider or a cut fastball, but it doesn't have a lot of tilt. It's moving away from the right-handed hitter, but doesn't have much downward action. And Clint able to just reach out and punch this one into center field. Nice short stroke with 2 strikes.
Steve McCaddy's coming out. Pitching coach for the Nats. Runners at first and third now with 1 out for Quintero. Excellent work by Barmas. Bring that ball right back up over the mound. Zimmerman's thrown 68 pitches. 19 here in the 4th so far. Yankees 2, Tampa Bay 1. They've played 6 at Tampa Bay. Robinson Cano hit his 16th home run. Crooked numbers for Jordan Zimmerman. Double play possibility. There's an opening on the right side for Quintero. Strike one to Q. Second inning, Desmond made an excellent play to throw him out. Quintero's grounded into 6 double plays and 123 at bats. Nationals are a good fielding team. They have range and athleticism on the infield. It's 1-1 with Jay Happ on deck.
Bernardina is a regular on your highlight shows. Makes a lot of great plays out there in center. Worth throws well in right. Covers a lot of ground as well.
Nothing doing there. Cleveland and Minnesota are scoreless through 4. The Tribe swept a doubleheader at Minnesota yesterday. Bunt, push, and here comes Johnson to the plate. Nobody at first in time, safe at first, and it's 4-2. The bunt single and an RBI for Quintero, his 12th, scoring Johnson.
And not a suicide squeeze. Johnson coming down the line, reading the ball off the bat. More of a safety squeeze. Well executed by Q. See, if it was a squeeze, CJ would already be in your picture there as that ball was heading towards home, but he waited, made sure the ball got down. You see him coming, then he waits till it's down, and then he breaks.
Just got there ahead of the pitcher Zimmerman. Now Jay Happ has runners at first and second, leading 4-2. He reached on an error earlier. Bunts back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman takes a look at third, throwing to first. And the second baseman Espinosa takes the throw on a 1-4 play. Sacrifice getting Varmas to third. Quintero to second, 2 outs.
Zimmerman considering all his options there. Took a look at third, look at second. Had nothing, went to first.
Varmas is third, hoping for a delivery from Michael Bourne now, who has fanned twice tonight. Be interesting to see the lineup tomorrow afternoon for the 1:05 start. Jose Altuve coming in. With Michael Bourne's speed entrenched in that leadoff spot. But Altuve is a speedy player as well. That's strike one.
A big opportunity here, because I'm sure what Brad Mills was thinking with the Quintero play was, let's just get 1 run. Figuring they would make a play on Q, and then with the pitcher coming up next, but because Q was able to reach, this big opportunity presented to Michael Bourne.
Line drive left field, headed for the corner. 2 runs will score to make it 6-2. Bourne in with a 2-run double. .30 runs batted in for Michael Bourne. That's his 23rd double of the year.
A little breathing room for Jay Happ. The Astros getting to Jordan Zimmerman like no one has in a good long while. He gave up 5 earned runs in back-to-back starts at the end of April, and has been really, really good since then. We mentioned earlier 2.16 ERA for Zimmerman since May 1st. So he's not used to giving it up like he is here tonight.
Since that one game you mentioned at the end of April, he's given up no more than 3 earned runs in any start, and he's only done that once since then. Angel Sanchez is 0 for 2. Looking at ball 1. He is the 8th Astro to bat here in this big 4th inning. 4 runs home on 5 hits. And the bullpen is getting ready. Todd Coffey is percolating.
The big man. Coffee talk.
Bullpen coach Jim Lett brewing up a reliever. Davey Johnson really had to go to that pen early. 3rd inning on Sunday. Upstairs to Sanchez. It's 2-0. Michael Bourne now with 30 runs batted in, has one fewer in the RBI department than Jason Worth. Bouncer Zimmerman. Oh, that throwing just looks strange. In the fourth inning, the Astros get 4 runs on 5 hits. They leave a man. And after 4, including the bunt by Quintero, it's now 6-2 Houston. The Astros have some room with a 4-run lead. And on our touchpad, we see Barmes 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. Quintero, a safety squeeze in the 4th. The Astros get 4 runs on 5 hits in the 4th inning. 4 of those coming in a row. And then Happ with a sacrifice bunt. And Bourne followed with a 2-run double. Very productive bat work there in the 4th.
Jay Happ's mission, close to 0, preferably a quick one. Nice clean inning. Get the boys back in the dugout. Coming off that big inning. See if they can inflict a little bit more damage on Zimmerman. Get into the Nationals bullpen.
Ian Desmond with the double in 2 trips shortens up, and he takes strike 1. Nationals need base runners. They've been out hit 7-4. Desmond trying to get something working with Zimmerman and Morse to follow. Fly ball goes to center. Michael Bourne.
And a corn from Michael Bourne.
Yeah. Checking these 2 pitchers the Astros got from the Giants in the Jeff Keppinger trade. They are right-handed pitchers Henry Sosa and Jason Stoffel. They were both at AA Richmond in the Giants organization. Stoffel is 22. Sosa's 25.
Yeah, just by looking at their numbers and the age and everything, it seems like Stoffel's probably got a higher ceiling, considered a better prospect than Sosa, who was working as the closer for their AA club and was averaging a strikeout per inning pitched.
Zimmerman took strike 1. He walked and scored in the 3rd after striking out earlier. One ball, 1 strike. Well, the Keppinger trade seems to be a good match for the Giants. He can play the various infield spots. Miguel Tejada was moving around and playing some short, second base. He got hurt.
San Francisco, a good place to be right now. A lot of energy in that city for the baseball team. Of course, winning the World Series.
Currently, they have a 3.5 game lead on Arizona. Tremendous pitching, so the Astros were able to tap into some of that pitching depth in their organization, and good 2 pitchers in return for Keppinger. 2-2, and Ed Waite said going back to last winter, the Astros had a deal worked out to trade Keppinger. I believe it was to the Yankees, but then he had the foot problem. Foot wouldn't heal, and he wound up having to have surgery. Rolled out to shortstop. Barmas with the stretch from Wallace. 2 outs.
Who's been playing second base over there? Manny Burris? They're just moving people around.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's been one single guy. Tejada played there some. Oh, yeah, Sanchez, but I think he got hurt.
He got hurt early.
Yeah, he's been hurt. They've had a lot of injuries on that club. Sandoval was hurt for a while, but he's come back to claim third base.
Sanchez got hurt, and then Billy Hall went over, and Billy got hurt.
True, he's another one, 1-0 to Morse with Worth on deck. Jose Altuve leads all of minor league baseball with a .389 combined batting average at Class A Lancaster and at AA Corpus. Hit .408 at Lancaster in 52 games, .361 at Corpus in 35 games. Drag. It's 1-1 to Morse. 1-2 rather.
Well, these national hitters start with their hands pushed way away from their body. You saw it with Zimmerman, you see it with Morse, a couple of the other guys.
Wonder why.
I don't know if it's their hitting coach is David Eckstein's brother, Rick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his philosophy or if it's just a coincidence.
You have to ask him.
I saw Albert Pujols on the baseball channel today talking hitting. Did you catch that at all?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting stuff.
It was. Talking about his wrists and how he grips the bat.
And how he points the knob of the bat at the ball. Wherever the ball is, wherever he sees the ball. That he kind of like golf. They tell you to take the butt of the club and point it at the target.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
They're pointing at the ball, I guess.
Okay.
You know, there's some tip about the butt of the club in the ball.
Well, you can hit a golf ball.
Well, we were talking baseball, Albert, and they're saying where everybody talks about staying inside the ball. He said, well, you can get tied up doing that sometimes, thinking too much about staying inside the ball. He says, I like to point the knob of the bat at the ball.
Line shot right center field. That'll go all the way to the bullpen wall. And the big strides of Morse. Head for second base with a 2-out double. His 19th of the year. Wow.
He hasn't had a bad at bat yet in the first 2 games of this series.
No, he has not.
3 hits and a line out yesterday, including a home run, walk, home run, double this evening.
It's like a monster at the plate.
Big, strong kid. And unlike some of the other, we're talking about all these high ceiling, young athletic guys. Morse is more of a journeyman type guy, but maybe just a matter of not ever having the opportunity before to play every day.
Yeah. He's played multiple positions, and now he is seizing that chance.
And you know, sometimes a guy will go through a real nice stretch and fool you. But given the amount of at-bats he had last year and what he's had this year, it's a fairly significant amount of ABs.
Sure is. Jason Worth takes ball 1. The way this series is going, the Astros might have to have a meeting and tap into the Morse code. It's 1-1.
Dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dot.
SOS when facing this guy. He is looking great at the plate. 7 hits for the Astros, 5 for the Nationals. Foul back.
Let up pitch there by Happ, getting Worth out on the front foot. 1-0. Pittsburgh continues to lead the Reds. That's in the 8th inning. That's the lead the National League in runs scored. Cincinnati Reds being shut out again by the Pirates.
Pirates really haven't had a great record at home either. This series might really jumpstart them. 2-2. And when they were here a few days ago, all the talk from their players and coaches was about just each day. Just focusing on each day. Don't get caught up in what we're doing. A strikeout for Happ ends the 5th inning for the Nationals. That's number 3 for Jay. No runs a hit and a man stranded. And the Astros lead it 6-2.
Over the Nats, and time to introduce you to our fans of the game. I've got 2 right here, David and Carrie Haw. You guys are, Carrie, especially you, I know you are a huge Astro fan dating all the way back to the Dome.
Yes, ma'am. I can't even remember the orange and the rainbow uniforms, yeah.
You were a ball girl, right, one time?
Yes, ma'am, in 97.
All right, and David, you just got back from Afghanistan, correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay, and I know you managed to maintain, you guys are in town for a weekend, but you live in Colorado Springs?
That is also correct.
Okay, but you're big Astro fans from afar, you were telling me.
Oh yeah, we shell out enough money to watch it. You can't get it online. You have to buy the package, but we wouldn't have it if we couldn't. Yeah.
We do since we're originally both from Houston, so since we're living out of state now, we pay the direct TV program to see the Astros every game.
And I know that you had the opportunity also. Tell me, you were just started telling me about a paper you got a grade on that you wrote about, and Milo was involved.
Yeah, we my English 101 or 121 class, we had to write a paper over heroes, and I'm a huge baseball fanatic, so I chose to write a paper over Hank Aaron, and talked to Milo a little bit, and he was so gracious to give me a lot of information, since he was the one that called that game when Aaron broke Ruth's record, so that was really a special moment for me.
All right, well, I'm going to send it back up to Bill so he can tell us what just happened, but you are also married to a hero. We appreciate you guys being here and being our Astros fans of the game, and we've got some great stuff right here for you, okay? All right, guys.
Thank you, Patty. Nice to have them back in town. Brett Wallace hit that fly ball to the base of the wall and left. Caught by Hairston. He just about got it off the iron, but he's 0 for 3 as he falls a little bit short on that one, and Hunter Pence comes up next. Hunter's grounded out and struck out. There's strike one for Jordan Zimmerman, who in the game he pitched here a couple of years ago gave up a 3-run homer to Kazuo Matsui in the 7th inning. Fly ball to right. Worth is in. 2 outs. Patty?
Well, now you can purchase tickets to an Astros suite, the Insperity Club, and Diamond Club on an individual basis. The Astros have a premium area perfect for you and your group, whether you're coming to Minute Maid Park for business or pleasure. For all the details, visit astros.com/premium. Bill?
Thank you. Carlos Lee, the batter. Carlos is 2 for 2, a pair of singles, a pair of runs scored. Insperity Club, great place to be. It's a premium place with that seat right there behind home plate. Perfect height above the field to watch a baseball game. Strike makes it 1-1. Reds are batting in the top of the ninth. 1-0 Pirates.
Insperity Club, where the press box used to be. You could go in there and fantasize about being Richard Justice.
Fly ball, and Bernardina pursues it into right center for a 1-2-3 fifth inning. We go to the sixth with the score 6-2 Astros.
Like you like it. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. The Astros offense has treated J. Happ like he's part of the family, giving him 6 runs and a 6-2 lead. As we go back to action in the top of the sixth, here's Brownie and JD.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Looks like we had an engagement, Brownie.
Oh, nice. I missed that. Special moment. And not a dry eye down in that section. We go to the sixth inning, and it's a 6-2 Astros lead for J. Happ. Trying for win number 4 of this season. 10 starts without a win for Jay. And he faces Wilson Ramos. Ball 1. Maybe that extra break that he's had has helped him a little bit mentally to regroup. Whatever the reason. And he had that bases loaded situation in the first inning tonight, but he got Ramos. Has survived the 2-run homer by Morse in the third after a walk. Things going well right now for Jay. Comes inside there and gets a strike. 2-1 to Ramos. Joel Hanrahan is in for Pittsburgh with a 1-0 lead over the Reds. Top of the 9th inning. 2 outs. Runner at first. Fouled away. 2-2. J. Happ.
I think obviously having this 4-run lead provides him a little cushion. And even after that first inning, I sense maybe more of a willingness to throw the ball over the fat part of the plate a little bit. Not trying to pick at corners quite as much. Especially early in the count. You may or may not agree with that, but it's kind of what I'm seeing.
Fouled away. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jay is at 94 pitches for the game. And he could come up in the bottom of the inning if the Astros get a man on. .22-20 is his major league record. That's over second base and out into shallow center, looping in for a single for Ramos.
Well, as Ramos steps to first base, it is time for the AT&T Trivia Challenge, and this one is dealing with Washington and musical comedy. Remember the old Washington Senators in Damn Yankees? Who was the character in Damn Yankees who said he would sell his soul to the devil if the Senators could win the American League pennant?
Boy.
Apple something, wasn't it?
Is what?
Apple something? Wasn't his last name Apple something?
No.
If it was a multiple choice question, I guarantee I could
Yeah,
get it.
well, this is one I have a feeling for whom the bell will not toll.
Do you want to sing?
I just haven't, because I can't even give you a clue.
Joe Cronin.
Well, half of it's right.
Joe
Parton.
Joe Mama.
Red Wallace giving way. Angel Sanchez has the angle, makes the catch on the foul pop on Bernardino, 1 out.
Maybe if you sang a few bars of "You Gotta Have Heart," it might,
that won't help.
It might kick in for us.
That was after. That was. You know who the player was?
Joe. I can't remember his last name.
Okay, well, the player was Joe Hardy.
Joe Hardy. Okay.
But I thought that's who you might guess because that's what people would think, but actually it wasn't. The character was a civilian who was transformed into Joe Hardy when he made that bet with the devil. And what was the character's name that actually made the bet with the devil?
Oh,
Barry Bonds.
I can put my bell away, folks. This will be historic because this one today they will not get.
Oh, boy.
Because as I say, the bell is here. The bell is covered.
Oh, boy.
It's not going to ring. This is historic because you guys did real well in Los Angeles with baseball and the movies, but baseball and musical comedy, a little weak.
Clark Griffith.
I'll just let you throw out names till producer Jeff Muckelroy tells us it's time
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, then I'll wait until the official unveiling
All right.
to give you the real name.
This is very suspenseful.
I could Google it. That'd be cheating.
Yeah, you could probably get it now, but
Deep drive to left field. They're getting up, and that's a 2-run homer. Hairston, with number 3 of the season, makes it a 6-4 ball game. He's driven in 19 now this year, and the number 8 hitter connects.
Well, he made that adjustment. Last time he hit one into the well out there, and off the wall in front of the bullpen for a double. This time he gets the head out a little bit more. This is kind of a fastball cutting in on him. Not unlike the ball Barmers got and yanked into those seats.
Battle of the 2-run homers tonight. Nationals have 2. The Astros 1, but the Astros had a 4-run 4th, and now they're up by a couple. And we get a pinch hitter for the pitcher Zimmerman. Rick Ankiel.
okay, well, here it is. It's official. The bell will not toll tonight. The question was, who was the fanatical Washington fan who uttered the words, he would sell his soul to the Devils if the Senators could beat the Yankees? Joe Boyd. He was then transformed into Joe Hardy, who, of course, was the great player.
Well, we could be here for a couple of decades and not get that right.
Don't have to. We're done. It's official.
It's going to be Alex Cora pinch hitting now for Zimmerman, not Ankiel. Zimmerman tonight in 5 innings allowed the Astros 7 hits, 6 runs. He had no walks and he struck out 5.
And you may be wondering, why is Davey Johnson sending a left-handed hitter up there to pinch hit? Well, it's because he's got 4 left-handed bats on his bench tonight and just 1 right-handed hitter, and that's his other catcher, Jesus Flores. You wouldn't want to use him here.
Cora's hit .233 for 116 at bats. No balls, 2 strikes.
I wonder if Zimmerman was bothered by that comebacker off the leg.
Good question.
For the rest of his outing, because his pitch is really flattened out.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
You know, your landing leg, if you're kind of soft on that landing leg, you can't work against it. You're going to lose the ability to get that good leverage. And that's where you get the depth on the breaking ball.
That was the second batter he faced. Angel Sanchez hit that ball off his left leg. David Carpenter's warming up for Houston. Now it's a 2-2 count. Cora is 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter. Also Fernando Rodriguez is up. And sometimes a manager, when he gets to this stage of a game with a starting pitcher who has not won in 10 starts, will tell himself, I don't want him to face a potential tying run here.
And certainly not the go-ahead run. It's always the challenge. You're trying to manage to win the game, but you're trying to manage the player too to set him up to have success going forward. First priority is win the game, of course, but you know, sometimes you think of big picture and you get a guy who's been struggling. You just want to get him into the clubhouse feeling good about things.
That's 4 walks for Happ. And the pitch count is an issue as well. 106 now for Jay. Hasn't pitched in 12 days.
Critical situation here with a very dangerous batter in the box. Espinosa, the leadoff man, but he's got 17 bombs.
He is definitely dangerous.
Brownie gave you the numbers earlier. What he's done from the right side is pretty impressive.
0 for 3 in this game. Fly ball. Carlos Lee moving in and toward the line. And that is a relief for the Astros. Out number 2. The RBI leader on the Nationals club retired, and Desmond comes up. Not that it's a situation where anybody can't be dangerous. Desmond doubled in the first inning. He's 1 for 3. Now Brad Mills is coming out. And Happ, who's worked 2 outs into the 6th inning here, is going to be leaving this ball game. String of right-handed hitters due up next. Jay Happ is in line for win number 4 of the season, and it's time for the Verizon call to the bullpen. Fernando Rodriguez is hot. He's on his way with a score 6-4 Astros. With the 2-run lead, a man at first, Cora, belongs to him with those numbers: 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, walking 4, fanning 3, in a position to be the winner. And Fernando Rodriguez may have a lot to say about that. Facing Desmond, who's 1 for 3.
Bullpen has been pretty darn good lately, and they need to be good tonight to preserve this lead for Jay Happ, get him a W, and perhaps be the beginning of a turnaround for Happ. So Fernando comes out of the bullpen to deal with Ian Desmond. 2 outs, man on base. Fernando worked 2/3 of an inning last night. He induced that little pop up to short that turned into a double play when Angel Sanchez threw behind Jason Worth over at third base. Kind of a fun play.
Yeah, it was. Very alert play. Brad Mills obviously loved it. Desmond doubled his first time up. Pop back and out of play. Talking to Brad about it, and he said it was just such an alert play. And then Chris Johnson said, well, no big deal on my part. I didn't have any responsibility on the play, but still he had to be alert to that because we don't see a play like that very much.
I don't know that I've ever seen that play.
Runner takes off, throw back, and he's safe. Yeah, I can't remember it.
Gore trying to get the jump on Rodriguez, had a huge jump, so much so that Fernando was able to recognize it, step off, and almost catch him off base.
Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati 1-0. Strike to Desmond, and it's 0-2 now for Fernando Rodriguez. Last 4 outings, he has pitched scoreless baseball.
But that score 3 runs total in 2 games against that offense and win them both.
James McDonald won his 6th. Joel Hanrahan got save number 28. Tough luck loser Mike Leake now 8-5. Cora takes off, and it's foul.
He had a huge jump, and it's one of those situations where it's no balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So throw caution to the wind. Your hitter's in a deep hole. If you get thrown out, well, the hitter gets a fresh start next inning.
He had a good jump. We've seen runners take some liberties with Fernando on the mound. One and 2 now. Mets beat the Cardinals 4-2. Dylan G going to 9-3 with that win. Kyle Loesch is 8-7. Isringhausen, former Cardinal closer, got the save for New York.
How about that?
Now K-Rod, Jason back in the closer spot. At least for tonight. Runner takes off. Quintero with a throw, and he is safe. Cora's been trying to get to second for a while now. He was ready to move on that pitch in the dirt. Count going to 2-2.
Cora not hesitating at all as he sees the ball in the dirt. He's off and running.
Stolen base number 3 is the ruling. Okay, the wild pitch. That was wrong on the scoreboard. Dancing off second. Bouncer up the middle, and that gets through into center field. Cora's coming to the plate to make it 6-5 now on the RBI single by Desmond. His 25th run batted in. Cora's active legs do amount to a run for the Nationals.
Good at bat by Desmond. Good base running by Cora. Nationals down just 1 now.
Ryan Zimmerman bats now in the 6th inning in a 6-5 game. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Tough time right here for Jay Happ. as he watches the lead down to 1 now after the Astros had led by 4. And if the Astros maintain this slim lead, he'll probably do some pacing around in the clubhouse or somewhere.
They gave up a walk to Zimmerman prior to the Morse home run, and now this walk to Cora setting up that run. That's the stuff that really chews at you. It's one thing to, you make a mistake to a good hitter and he drives one out of the ballpark. That's something you can live with, but the walks, especially with a guy like Cora who doesn't really have any power. It's one thing if you're pitching to a middle of the order type guy and you're being very careful, you end up walking.
Swing there and no contact. No balls, 2 strikes. Fernando with 26 strikeouts in 21 2/3 innings for the Astros. Shown that good ability to put hitters away. Batting average against him .234 when he took the mound a moment ago. That's Luke Fallon out of play.
Jay probably won't take any solace in this, but he does have this baseball oddity in that he has allowed exactly 5 earned runs in 5 consecutive starts.
Boy, that's crazy.
It might be a record. It's the look of a confused pitcher right now.
Yeah.
Well, and I've been in those shoes. I've been there. I've walked that walk, boy, and it is no fun.
Strike 3 call. Rodriguez gets Zimmerman looking, and in the 6th inning, the Nationals make it a 1-run game, scoring 3 runs on 3 hits and leaving a man in the middle of the 6th. It's now 6-5 Houston. Twitter, log on to FoxSportsHouston.com to submit your questions. Why would the Astros promote a player from AA with no major league experience and not someone like Anderson Hernandez from AAA who has major league experience?
That comes from Anderson Hernandez at AAA.com. No, it comes from Logan. Logan there.
He's his agent.
Well, because the Astros are in a period now of evaluation and moving towards the future, and Anderson Hernandez was viewed as, I believe, I'm not speaking out of turn, they viewed as more of an insurance policy, a guy who maybe could come up and fill in for a couple of weeks if somebody got hurt, but not really a big part of the long-term future of the Houston Astros, whereas Altuve is a 21-year-old kid who's lighting it up in the minor leagues, and maybe you've got something there, and there's no risk. You're 20 games out of first place, 34 games under 500. Why not bring the kid up and let him play? So I like it. I think it's a good move. It's not so much, and Anderson Hernandez is a more experienced player, and in short term might have more success if you're going to call him up for a couple weeks. But the idea is to get Altuve up here and let him play and see what he can do.
Thanks for the question, and we certainly welcome all of your questions. And that's going to be a lot of fun going on that website. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Todd Coffey, 6'4", 241, 30 years old. Facing Chris Johnson.
Well, if Zimmerman was our wideout, Todd Coffey's our tackle. He's a big dude. We need more guys like Coffey in the game. All these pitchers today are built like linebackers and wide receivers. This is old school right here.
We need more Coffey.
We need more Haas Radbourne types. Old Haas Coffey.
41st round pick of Cincinnati in '98. He gets a strikeout on CJ, 1 out.
6-5 ball game. Bottom of the 6. Astros need to play add-on here. We talk a lot about the shifting flow of a game. The Astros had that early lead. Put that 4 spot up on the board. Things are looking comfortable and anything but comfortable now. So this is where you really got to kick it back in if you're an Astro hitter. Do whatever you can to scratch out a run or two in these next couple innings and provide a little margin for that bullpen.
Varmus has had a big night. 2-run homer, RBI single. There's strike 1 to Clint. Davey Johnson was talking about managing. He was talking about the 1986 World Series with the Mets, managed by Davey, and the Red Sox. Fly ball to center field. Bernardina. You talk about momentum shifts. And he said when the momentum changes, that's when I think a change is warranted quite often. And he talked about, everybody remembers the game-winning run on a ground ball hit by Mookie Wilson between the legs of Bill Buckner. But he said the momentum shift was on a wild pitch allowing the tying run to score. He said once that happened, we had a pretty good idea we were going to win the game, just didn't know how.
I saw an interview not long ago, one of those tape pieces been replayed over and over again, and Dewey Evans made that same exact point.
Did he?
Yeah, so everybody picks on Buckner, but once that wild pitch scored the tying run, it was very deflating for the Red Sox.
Quintero had the bunt hit, an RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Ryan Bogusevic is on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. No balls, 2 strikes, and we're not sure when Jose Altuve might arrive. He could be in this game, who knows, but starting the game without him, the Astros are down to a small cadre of bench players available.
Bogusevic, Corporon, and Jason Michaels, and hoping for the arrival of Altuve. Wouldn't that be fun if he showed up in the 9th inning and got a big pinch hit?
That would make it. Ground ball past the diving Zimmerman into left field, and Quintero is 2 for 3.
Well, let's hope the Astros don't have to bat in the 9th inning.
Right.
Maybe a big pinch hit in the 8th inning.
Well, Bogusevic would like to help out here as a pinch hitter in the 6th for Rodriguez. Fernando with 1/3 of an inning, allowing 1 hit, no runs. Had no walks, 1 strikeout. Jay Happ 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Bogusevic a 200 hitter with 1 RBI. So the Astro bullpen with a 4.51 ERA will be called upon to pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th now.
And there had to be some conversation down there in the dugout whether to even use a pinch hitter in this situation.
Yeah.
With the bench being as short as it is.
True. That's ball 1. I think there have been some trades that have been cemented, but the players have not been told until after games. They've been used in games with management knowing that player had been traded, but they figured they might need him for that night. So let's use him and then tell him he's been traded. But you run the risk of an injury. And then that would cancel the trade if that happened. 2 balls, no strikes, usually anyway. So Jeff Keppinger is gone, and that's the reason the Astros are down to 3 bench players, because they had already promoted Wesley Wright for Matt Downs, who's away for 3 days on paternity leave.
And that's why I'm thinking you might want to have saved Bogusevic, because you got 2 outs here and a man on first. I'd say you're probably not going to get that run around. Could be wrong. You might drive one into the gap here and score a Q. And then it obviously would be a very smart move.
Yeah, if you're talking odds.
Right, and the odds, well, and then so if the Nationals come back on you, that would be the thing. If they come back and tie this game, then you could extend it in extra innings, or you need a pinch hitter to try to, tie the game or go ahead a couple innings down the road. You're limited as to what you can do. That's the dilemma that Brad Mills had to deal with tonight with his short bench.
Bogusevic has not hit a homer yet in the majors. 3 balls and a strike. And he takes a walk, bringing up Michael Bourne. 2 on, 2 outs.
That move just got a whole lot smarter right there, because now you got a runner in scoring position for Bourne, who's been really good in these situations, and he doubled last time up.
Coming into this game, the Nationals pitchers in 4 games since the All-Star break have thrown about 250 pitches. Bourne with a 2-run double in the 4th into the left field corner is 1 for 3. The Astros are 3 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. Last night in the 5-2 loss, they were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Coffey delivers strike 1.
Michael very good at taking that 2-seam fastball that runs away from him and punching it into left field, and they're trying to counter that by throwing fastball in.
It's 1-1 to Michael. Astros have seen Coffey numerous times. He was with the Reds in Milwaukee, became a free agent, and in January signed with the Nationals. Sean Burnett is the lefty, is warming up. Strike makes it 1-2. Nationals bullpen is the 6th best ERA in the league, 3.27.
Whatever became of Cordero, former closer over there?
I'm not sure.
He must have blown out his elbow or something.
Chad Cordero,
Oh,
yeah. He's not around anymore in the big leagues anyway. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Now, Joel Youngblood, once upon a time, was traded in the middle of the day. He played a day game in Chicago for one team, and then went to Philly or New York, played a night game for a different team. How about that for a weird day?
And didn't he get hits in both games?
I think he did.
That's a gamer right there, boy. Didn't need any extra time to report.
It's 2-2.
Like when we signed Larry Anderson in '86, the Phillies were in town and they released him. Next thing you know, he's warming up in our bullpen.
Yeah, he told that story about the Astros wanted to see him throw, and he threw, and they signed him. Line shot, left field line. Quintero around third, coming to the plate, and the throw from Hairston. The run scores. It's 7-5. RBI single for Michael, and a 3 RBI game for Bourne.
Since hitting Bogusevic just gets smarter and smarter and smarter as this inning progresses.
Really, 2 outs and 0-2 count on Quintero when the rally started.
And they've been trying to work Michael in, but that time they left the fastball up and out away from him. And again, that patented swing where he just punches it to left field and down the line. So Harrison had to go all the way to the line. Otherwise, he's going to have a real good chance of throwing Q out at home because he was very shallow.
Angel Sanchez is 0 for 3. Red Wallace on deck. That's 9 hits for Houston. And strike one. Coffey's been facing the Astros ever since the 05 season. There's tons of appearances against Houston. All the way down the line for Todd. Pretty durable right-hander. Working on 400 appearances for his career. Fouled away.
It's like Merlin Olsen out there.
He does. He's over 400 appearances now for his career. Red Wallace is on deck. Sanchez moving out of the batter's box. By the way, Jose Altuve last night was 2 for 5 with a homer and drove in 3 for Corpus Christi in his final game with him.
Pretty much an average night for him.
Well, his combined stats at the 2 levels, Class A Lancaster and Double A Corpus Christi, include an OPS, which is combined on base percentage and slugging, of 1.012. 426 on base average, 591 slugging.
That OPS over 1,000, that's big stuff. Currently, nobody in the National League has an OPS over 1,000. I think Lance is leading the way, and 990 something the last time I checked.
For the Astros, who are 15 and 36 in this ballpark, 9 hits, 7 runs, a very good output here in the 6th inning. And a foul ball. Clint Barmes' 2-run homer in the 2nd started their scoring.
Sean Burnett continues to throw in the Nationals bullpen. Suspect he'll come in here if Sanchez reaches with Wallace on deck. Very good speed on the bases for the Astros. Double ought to get you 2.
But instead, it's a swing and a miss, and that's the end of the 6th inning. With the Astros getting a run on 2 hits, stranding 2. They lead it by 2, 7-5.
Free all summer presented by Minute Maid is available for every home game this summer. For every full price adult ticket you purchase in the outfield or view deck sections, you can get up to 2 free tickets for kids 14 and under. Visit Astros.com for tickets. And please, fans, don't forget to check out the Fox Sports Game Connect on FoxSportsHouston.com. One of our fans already got to ask JD a question. You can send a question in to Bill Brown, Jim DeShays, Greg Lucas, myself, even Kevin Eschenfelder. We'll pull him out and have him answer something for you. Come interact with your fellow fans and get all kinds of information, stats, and great graphics. Again, Fox Sports Game Connect on foxsportshouston.com. Bill?
Game Connect, that is fun. Yeah, that was a good question for JD tonight. So we really enjoy being involved with that. It's a brand new feature. And Patty Smith was one of the very first to use it. Even Kevin might get involved. So
wow,
that's really
that dinosaur.
Yeah, even Kevin. David Carpenter has an ERA of 0 as a major leaguer, but he has an ERA of 0 for 28 straight appearances. JD.
Yeah, he's getting used to this. Posting zeros. Tremendous run through the minor leagues, and now early success here, albeit in limited appearances with the Astros, but so far so good. And if he continues, his opportunities late in games will increase.
Fly ball, and Morse, as this one goes to right center, will have extra bases. It bounces into the bullpen. A double for Morse. Third extra base hit for him tonight. He's 3 for 3 with a walk.
Really? Fastball up, belly button high. It's hit 2 curveballs out of the ballpark in this series. I think, he's a big, strong guy. I think if you could get that fastball in on him, you could tie him up. Yeah. Right now, obviously, he's seeing it well and feeling pretty good about things.
That's hit number 9 for the Nats. That ties the Astros in the hit column. Jason Worth has struck out twice after drawing a walk. This is the first time Carpenter has been in a major league situation like this since he came up. 2-run lead in the 7th inning. Last time he allowed a run was April 30th with Corpus Christi against Frisco. Now it's 2-0. Last night Wilton Lopez did not retire a batter, giving up 2 hits and 1 run and walking a man in the 9th inning in relief of Jordan Lyles. Now Barmas in to talk it over with the young pitcher Carpenter. Just his 6th major league appearance. He closed an 8-2 win in Pittsburgh with a hitless inning. That's laced on a line to left field. One hopper to Carlos Lee. Stop sign at third base as Barmas gets the throw from Lee, and Worth smacked that one squarely. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and Ramos bats.
The fastball to Morse was up and out over the plate, and Worth, Carpenter, I think, just felt like down in the count he had to challenge, threw him a fastball over the heart of the plate, and Worth hit it hard. It's interesting on that play to watch Carlos Lee. And this is something that Brad Mills has talked to his outfielders about early in the year, if not spring training. Given an opportunity, just get the ball to your infielders, the guys who are used to handling the ball. Just get the ball to them and let them make a play. And that's exactly what happened there in that sharp single to the left.
Sure did.
Carlos throwing it to Barmas almost like an infielder would on a ground ball to short set.
Yeah. Now Doug Roquel went out. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Wilson Ramos singled and scored in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Roger Bernardino on deck. He bats left, and lefty pitcher Sergio Escalona is warming up. The appeal went to first. Check swing call by Vic Carapazza, and it's ball 1. Seattle and Toronto are tied 5-5. They played 10 in Toronto. Adam Lind hit his 17th home run for the Jays. It's a 1-1 count. Middle infielders are a double play depth with the 2-run lead.
Cubs leading the Phillies 2-zip. They beat Halladay last night. Tonight they're getting the best of Cliff Lee.
Wow.
Because Matt Garza's got 7 shutout innings under his belt.
Bounces and it's knocked down. Quintero with a runner at first, Worth edging towards second, but he didn't go. And that could have been a big play had he gone, but he just didn't take off.
Well, he's probably a little wary of trying to run with Q. his history with Q is not particularly good. He was picked off on an intentional walk as a runner at second base last year in Philadelphia. And he was the guy that Sanchez doubled up last night on a pop-up to short, coming off of third base.
Foul away. 2-2.
Q actually got a little lucky in that ball, trying to backhand that ball in the dirt. A lot of times that ball will kick off the heel of the catcher's mitt and go quite a ways away. And ideally, you'd like to have him take the mitt right out of play and just block it with the chest protector. But, you know, he's always thinking about trying to make a play on a base runner. He's thinking, if I can pick this cleanly, I might be able to throw behind work down there at first base.
Up the middle, off the leg of Carpenter. There's the flip to Barmas, and it's a 4-6-3 double play with a run scoring. A 1-4-6-3 off the leg of the pitcher Carpenter. Well, Mort scores at 7-6, but the Astros turn a slick double play out of the glove of Sanchez.
Yeah, that's a trade the Astros will take right now. Still have the lead. They got 2 outs, clean up the inning. And how did that ball get from Sanchez to Barmas? He glovelled it.
Glovelled?
That was our sniglet we came up with last night. He didn't shovel it with his glove. He glovelled it.
Very nice.
He made the Angel last night with the little backhand flip with the glove.
You invented a word, JD.
Yeah.
Let's see. Congratulations.
I think there's somewhere you can go with that, right? And there's some. Can you go to some dictionary or somebody and promote a new word? I want to invent a new word.
We're going to try
I think
it.
there's somebody that makes that, because there's new words entering the vocabulary all the time.
That's true.
Go to Merriam-Webster. Or
okay. We can try Merriam. Bernardina's 1 for 3.
Because there's broad use for that word throughout the world.
Well, there is.
Yeah, so many applications of glovelled.
Not only in baseball, but in other areas of life as well. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, if you've ever played this stupid Words with Friends game.
Haven't heard of that.
You know, there's a lot of words. There's a lot of fake words out there.
Okay. Slow chopper, Bernardina is out. And in the 7th inning, 1 run, 2 hits. In the middle of the 7th, as the fans take their stretch, it is 7-6 Houston.
Bottom of the 7th. Tonight's been the night we've really been promoting the Game Connect from Fox Sports. Some of you have caught on and have been with us. Basically, you can go to that site, which you can reach through foxsportshouston.com. There's an icon or a little note at the top that says you can click onto that. When you get to that site, if you've been using Twitter before, you can use it right there. If you've been emailing me before, you can email right there. In fact, earlier you saw one of the emails answered on the air with JD and Brownie. Game Connect, it has a lot more than just email and Twitter, though. It's got the stats, it's got some information, you can keep track of pitch counts, and a whole lot more. So give it a shot. Game Connect, and you can reach it through foxsportshouston.com. Guys?
They're doing it right down there, Greg.
I'm sure they are. I'll be looking for them.
Bottom of the 7th inning, it's Sean Burnett on the mound. He is pitcher number 3. He's 3-5 with a 5.67 ERA. He had a rough outing Sunday in Atlanta. Gave up a 3-run homer to the lefty hitting catcher, Brian McCann.
Crossfire delivery that he features could be really problematic for a left-handed hitter as he steps towards the first base dugout and then throws back across his body. Lefty's hitting .232 against him with virtually no power. Well, they do have 3 home runs. A double and a triple. So hung a couple breaking balls.
Burnett was a first-round pick of the Buccos in 2000. He's 28. Very good last year for the Nats with a 2.14 ERA. Last year he struck out 62 in 63 innings. Now, there's that tough arm angle from Brett Wallace. It's 2 balls and a strike. $32,418 is the paid attendance. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brett Wallace, who's 0 for 3. Pence and Lee to follow. Wallace is hitting .214 against lefties with no homers, 2 runs batted in. Second baseman Espinosa takes care of out number 1.
Good swing of the bat, though. Kept that front side in and put a good swing on the left-hander. Hit hard, just in the wrong spot.
Don't be too upset with that.
Frustrating night tonight. Last time he almost went deep, just missed hitting it off the wall, at least in left field. So it'll go down as an 0 for in the box score unless he gets another AB. But so far, 0 out of 4 tonight for Wallace, despite a couple of good swings.
Hunter Pence is 0 for 3. Carlos Lee on deck. Hunter takes and it's ball 1 to him. Chop slowly. Espinosa in. 2 outs.
Indians won Twins nothing middle of the 9th. Another 1-0 game. Boy, the Twins had a golden opportunity playing a doubleheader yesterday and getting swept in that one. Now down 1-0 with their final at bat, and they're doing this at home too.
Yeah.
Masterson, no surprise, he's had a heck of a year, and Liriano pitched well for the Twins.
Twins are 44-51. The Indians have the opposite record of that. Carlos Lee is 2 for 3. Strike 1 to him.
You know, you got to go all the way back to 1921, the last time the Indians and Pirates were in first place.
Really?
On this date, yeah. It's the Pirates of Pie Trainer and Possum Whitted.
Possum Whitted?
Or Whited, however you would pronounce it. W-H-I-T-T-E-D.
So the manager of that club was, do we know who that was? Anyway, he probably said, I can't play possum today. 2 balls and a strike.
The manager was a fellow by the name of George Gibson, Brownie.
George Gibson. Never heard of him.
Rabbit Moranville was on that team. Max Carey. Kiki Kyler.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Pirate fans can delve back into their history. But it's been a long time for them since they've had a team like this.
He's trying to tweet us.
He's getting on Game Connect. He has to contact Greg Lucas and see what kind of tie he's going to be wearing on a road trip. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That appears to be an HP touchpad, JD.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's better than an Etch-a-Sketch.
Bet it is. Greg is going with plaid on the trip, we've been told by Phil Boudreau, who's his fashion coordinator.
It looks like my work with a telestrator.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Entertainment takes place on different levels here at Minute Maid Park. Lee draws a walk, and it's Chris Johnson coming up.
Another good night for Carlos. A couple of knocks, a line out, and now this 2-out walk.
CJ doubled to left in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Cubs still lead 2-0 over the Phillies. Top of the 8th inning in Chicago. Kansas City 4, Chicago White Sox 2 after 8. Melky Cabrera hit his 12th. Colorado is working on Atlanta effectively. 6-1 Rockies. Bottom of the 5th inning. Dan Uggla, though, starting to come around for the Braves. He hit his 16th. Tulowitzki, number 18. Cargo, number 14 for the Rocks. A lot of Ubaldo Jimenez trade rumors circulating around. Fly ball, right field line. Let's see if Worth can get there. It's a hit in front of him. And Carlos Lee goes first to third on the looping single. Johnson is 2 for 4. And CJ has been lining out in some of his at-bats recently. He gets one back on a pop fly hit.
Good. Barmes already having a big night with a home run and a single. This kind of came out of nowhere. 2 quick outs and the walk, and now a little flare.
What happened in the 6th inning? 2 quick outs, an 0-2 count on Quintero, and the Astros wound up with a run. Barmes to center field. Bernardina in. And in the 7th inning, it's no runs, a hit, 2 men stranded. We move to the 8th inning with the score 7-6 Houston. The 8th inning with David Carpenter having given up a run in the 7th to break his string of 28 straight scoreless appearances. On Game Connect buzz from Randy McElvoy of Channel 2. Decent night for Happ. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Astros, please give this man a win. Yes, he is deserving. But as usually, it's up to the bullpen. And maybe the hitters to add on some runs. David Carpenter will begin his second inning of work. And we'll see Ryan Matthews warming up in the bullpen.
Allison Footer is tweeting that there's been an Altuve sighting in the Astros dugout.
Okay.
This is exciting. But this technology is amazing.
Isn't it, though? She has a better angle to look into that dugout. Lance Nix comes out to the on-deck circle. Jerry Hairston Jr. is leading off. He hit a 2-run homer in the 6th after a double in the 4th, so he's 2 for 3. And Nix will be ready to pinch hit for the pitcher Burnett, with Matthews warming up in the bullpen for Washington. Day game coming tomorrow. Carpenter throws strike 1. So if he can go a couple of innings here, that'll help that situation for tomorrow's game. But there is warm-up action right now for Houston. Sergio Escalona. Brad Mills back to a 2 left-hander bullpen now with Wesley Wright part of the picture. Baltimore beat Boston 6-2 in Baltimore. That's a strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, with the swings he's taking tonight at the fastball, I like the breaking ball here to Hairston. He looks like he's just trying to turn and burn on everything. And he yanked the ball to left field. There's Jose Altuve. Bouncing around, got his uni on.
Number 27.
Might get his first at bat before he gets to shake hands with everybody.
He will not be able to wipe that smile off his face for a while. Line drive, left field corner. And Hairston heads for second base. The throw is on one hop. It's in time. Eighth outfield assist for Carlos Lee. Big play.
Boy, that's huge. That's the tying run, cut down at second base with nobody out. And Harrison's bid for a third extra base hit comes up short because of the play by Lee. The good, accurate one-hop throw.
Sanchez got that down pretty quickly as the hop came up.
Such a tough read for a base runner, especially a visiting base runner, team that, not in the division, doesn't play a lot of games here. You hit the ball to the wall, you feel like, well, it should be a double. But when you hit it that hard, and it's that short throw, you're asking for trouble.
Now the lefty hitting Lance Nix. The pinch hitter's been announced for Burnett, so that's it for Carpenter. Lefty pitcher Sergio Escalona's on his way in. 7-6 Houston. Back in a moment. Bullpen with a 2-1 record at 2.5 ERA. Pitcher spot due up second in the bottom of the inning. Jose Altuve has now arrived on the bench. Those are the possibilities.
Oh, I guarantee he's going to get that AB.
This is fun. Meanwhile, it's lefty on lefty as Lance Nix is the pinch hitter for Sean Burnett. Burnett in one inning allowed one hit, no runs, had a walk and no strikeouts. Nix at 273 with a dozen homers has driven in 35.
Just 2 for 22 against left-handed pitching this year. That's an .091 batting average. But if he catches it, he can hit it a long way. He's a strong man.
Yeah. He hit a high hopping 2-run single in the 9th inning last night, going 1 for 4. That was a key hit in the 5-2 win for Washington. Out to shortstop. Barmas charging, backhanding, and throwing. 2 outs. Boy, that play by Carlos Lee at second base is going to loom really large if the Nats lose by 1.
Well, last 2 innings, there was that double play off Carpenter's foot, and then nimbly turned by Sanchez and Barmas. And Carlos's throw here in this inning. And Mills in a 1-run game wants to play the percentages. He's going to make another change.
Espinosa, who's 0 for 4, and a switch hitter, will be batting left. And we told you his numbers from the right side are really, really good. So they'll turn him around. Wilton Lopez, the birthday boy, on his way in. 7-6 Houston. Back in a moment. And pitcher number 5 comes in for the Astros. Meanwhile, they talk on the bench as Wilton Lopez, who's celebrating a birthday today, comes in with a 1-4 record, 8 holds and a 2.93 earned run average.
Last night, 2 hits and a run with a walk. Did not retire a man. Prior to that, he'd been on a nice roll. 6 consecutive scoreless appearances before last night's bump in the road.
Danny Espinosa settles in. Goes for the first pitch and fouls it for strike 1. He's 0 for 4.
The switch hitter batting average a lot better from the other side. Just a 227 hitter as a left-handed batter, but he's showing good power from this side of the plate.
Yes.
12 bombs.
Johnson's in tight at third. Well, ball and it's 0-2. David Carpenter went an inning and a third, giving up 3 hits, 1 run with no walks or strikeouts. Sergio Escalona retired the only man he faced on a grounder. The bullpen has been good tonight. Lopez trying to keep in that vein. The pitcher spot up second in the bottom half. He gets a strikeout of Espinosa. It's 7-6 Astros going to the bottom of the 8th.
The Astros with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv tonight to see every Astros game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Astros.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Guys, it feels like we've been talking technology all night long.
Oh, it really does. And with Kevin involved, you know it's a big night.
Has he been involved?
Can't wait till those touchpads come.
Oh, yeah. Kevin is all over this. Ryan Matthews comes in with a 2-1 record, a 1.72 ERA. He gave up the game winner to the Braves in the bottom of the 9th inning on Sunday, but generally he's pitched very well, as you can tell by those numbers.
1.72 ERA. It's fastball, slider, split finger pitch for the right-hander. Came up through the Rockies organization.
He was traded for Joe Beimel to Washington in July of 2009. Last year he pitched in the minors. He was recovering from Tommy John surgery. Actually, that had happened right before the trade, so they knew it would take time for him to come back. Quintero takes a look at ball one. Jason Michaels is on deck. Pitcher spot 2 up next. Humberto's been a central figure in this one with 2 hits, an RBI, 2 runs scored.
Yeah, that little safety squeeze play was a huge play in this game, not only because he got that run home, but he was able to beat it out for a base hit. That allowed Bourne ultimately to come up, and Michael drove in 2 with a double.
One and 2. $11 hits for the Nationals, 10 for the Astros. In the Washington 9th, Desmond, Zimmerman, and Morse are due up. Mark Melancon warming up in the Houston bullpen to get ready for that trio. Bouncer goes foul, third base side. And it's a broken bat. John Burnett in 1 inning, led 1 hit, no runs, had a walk, no strikeouts. Milwaukee 6, Arizona 2 there in the bottom of the 4th in the desert. Yuniesky Betancourt hit his 6th. Ryan Braun returning to the lineup, pick number 17. Corey Hart number 13. Ricky Weeks number 19 in support of Giovanni Gallardo.
If the Brewers could find a way to win a little bit on the road, they might run away with this division. It's 18-32 away from home.
Wow.
And that's just inexplainable.
Well back.
It's inexplainable and unexplicable.
Well, coming into play tonight, it was Pittsburgh leading both St. Louis and Milwaukee by a half game. Pirates have won that 1-0 game over Cincinnati. That drops the Reds 5 games behind them. Cardinals lost. Chopped up the middle. Desmond over. 1 out. And Jason Michaels will be the hitter, pinch hitting for Wilton Lopez, who on his birthday struck out the only man he faced, Espinosa. J-Mike got the start last night in left field, even though the Nationals had a right-hander on the mound, because he was 7 for 10 lifetime against Jason Marquis. He went 1 for 4 in that game. 210 is his average, including 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. He's had 105 at bats as a pinch hitter. He's 4 for 25. Fouls it away, strike 1. Matthews is from Galt, California.
Where's that, Brownie?
I have no idea.
Central Valley?
G-A-L-T? No idea. Went to Sacramento Community College. Maybe it's up in Northern California. 1-1.
It looks a little bit like Norm Charlton. Only he's right-handed. He's not as nasty.
Yeah. Got some facial features, a little bit like Norm.
Quick, give me a split screen of Norm Charlton.
2-1. How about Carmageddon in Southern California this weekend? Did you pick up on any of that?
What's that?
Well, they closed the 405 freeway and it just threw fear into everybody. You can't drive. They call it Carmageddon. Everybody stayed home evidently, and it's not an issue.
Well, Scotty got to the golf course.
He may have had to charter a chopper. You know Scotty's not going to miss his round of golf. 2-2 to Michael Bourne on deck. In the air to right center. Medina calling. 2 outs. And the Nationals with Desmond, Zimmerman, and Morse due up. You know, have to be feeling that they have a decent shot at this one if they can get Michael Bourne here. Well, the Nationals have played 37 one-run games. They're 18 and 19 in those.
That's what's going on right now in the Astros dugout. Brad Mills, as he watches the Astros hit here, also contemplating the top half of the ninth and the different scenarios that he might have to deal with. Probably at the forefront of his thinking is, what will I do with Morse if he comes up there in a big situation? The way he's swinging it, boy, he can want to be awfully careful.
Bourne bounces one. It's fair off the glove of Morse, and Michael will turn for second. And Dave Clark holds up a hand as the ball got by Morse near the line. He reached down, got his mitt on it, but then it got away from him.
I thought that was a foul ball, but no argument from Morse. So, like, Vic Carapazza got it right down there, the first base umpire.
Here's a good view. Well, Vic was right on it. Now that gives the Astros an opening with Bourne at second base after his second double of the night. No, it's an error. Okay. Well, we're going to have to check on that again. Angel Sanchez is 0 for 4. Fly ball to right field. And Worth puts it away. We go to the ninth inning, and the score is 7-6 Astros.
Sports News is brought to you by your local Texas Ford dealer. As we go to the ninth inning, we have another Game Connect question, wondering whether I can buy an Altuve jersey tomorrow. Longhorn Dave, I'll tell you what, you can shop. It's number 27, so maybe you can have your own made if they're not in stock yet.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to do this joke that they only come in small either, because You know, that would be cruel.
Well played. Well played.
He's a big package, I'll tell you what, in that small body. And Astro fans are going to, I think, enjoy what they see when he gets on the field.
And probably tomorrow. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, no, that's what Brad Mills has said. He's starting tomorrow.
Okay. Mark Melanson is 5-3 with 7 saves and 10 opportunities, a 3.05 ERA for Mark. Most recent save Saturday, 6-4 win over Pittsburgh. And Melanson got the final 3 outs in 1-2-3 fashion. And he took the loss Sunday, but he was stretched out. He retired 6 in a row and then ran into problems in his 3rd inning to lose that 7-5 game in 11. It's Desmond leading it off. Desmond is 2 for 4 with an RBI.
Speed guy, got to keep him off the bases for that reason. And you don't want Morris, who's due 3rd up in this inning, to come up with a man on base with a chance to give them the lead.
Melanson, of course, with the Astros' fortunes, losing 31 of their last 39, has not had many save opportunities. The last 1-run save he had was May 22nd at Toronto, a 3-2 win. Falls behind Desmond, 2 balls, no strikes.
Mark likes that little cut fastball, and I don't mean little in terms of velocity. He throws it hard. That one at 93, but just a little movement, and that's all you're looking for. You don't want to sacrifice too much velocity with a cutter, so you're just looking to throw a power pitch with a little movement.
Pop up, and Wallace gets out of the way of Barmas. 1 out. Ryan Zimmerman comes up. Zimmerman 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Last night he had a homer and an RBI single. Morse is on deck, and Morse has been a monster tonight. 2-run homer, a pair of doubles, and a walk. Jay Happ's 4th win of the season on the line. And in fact, it could be a night for wins by long-suffering pitchers, because Jeremy Guthrie of Baltimore won. He's leading the majors in losses with 13. He won his 4th tonight, beating Boston 6-2. One and one. Texas got a run in the 1st in Anaheim, leading the Angels now 1-0, bottom of the 2nd inning with Alexi Ogando pitching. Detroit beat Oakland 8-3. Rick Porcello winning his 9th with the 20th homer from Miguel Cabrera. 1-2. Carlos Guillen has been out a long time. He returned to hit a home run tonight for Detroit. Upstairs for ball 2. 2-2 to Ryan Zimmerman. Jeremy Hellickson in Tampa Bay knocked off the Yankees 3-2. Hellickson going to 9-7, beating Bartolo Colon, who's 8-6. Joel Peralta got his first save. Up the right field line toward the corner. Looks like it could be big trouble. And that is a foul ball.
Oh, my.
Wow, was that close.
Talk about dodging a bullet.
Well, he hit an opposite field homer last night. That one just missed the foul pole. A few inches outside it.
Hey, Brownie, I wanted to tell you, and Greg, too, went into the shed, and they said that Jose Altuve jerseys will not be available tomorrow, but they should first thing when they come back off this road trip.
Well, that makes sense. It's pretty much of a rush job.
Yeah, that would have been a rush. You'd have to get your own blank jersey and have some numbers put on, but they're going to be there that quickly. Fans will be fine.
Thanks, Kevin.
I have no idea what's happened in the 9th inning, but I do know that Jose Altuve's jersey will not be available tomorrow.
Okay.
Can almost sense that pitch coming after driving that ball the other way. He's thinking, well, we got to get in on this guy a little bit.
You almost missed a game-tying homer, Kevin. 3-2 to Zimmerman. Bounce to second. Sanchez. 2 outs. After the near miss on Zimmerman's ball up the right field line, it comes down to Morse now.
A gutsy pitch there in a situation where he couldn't afford to walk him. He came with a breaking ball on 3-2 and made a good pitch with it.
Morse, 2-run homer in the 3rd, doubles in the 5th and 7th after a first inning walk. 6 for 7 in the series with 2 homers.
Yeah, that's a lot of bases in 2 games.
Fans are standing. Hit by the pitch. And Jason Worth will bat.
We talked last time about Morse, how strong he is and the damage he's been able to do when getting extended. And they needed to pitch him in, and I don't think there was any intent there to hit him. They're just trying to get in on his hands, maybe try to pop him up. If nothing else, push him off the plate a little bit. But if you're going to miss, you're better off missing there the way he's swinging it than out over the plate. You do put the tying run on base. You hate to do that.
Pinch runner Rick Ankiel. First hit batsman of the year for Melanson. Morse comes out of the game. Ankiel the runner. Jason Worth the batter.
Ankiel has stolen 8 bases. He's been caught twice.
Worth is 1 for 3 with a walk. He ripped a line drive single in the 7th inning. Astros led it 6-2 after 4. Strike 1. Drew Storen and Tyler Clippard are both warming up for the Nats. Time was called before the pitch. In the 08 World Series for the Phillies, Worth hit .444 with a homer and drove in 3. Hit a couple of home runs in the 09 World Series. He's been in a lot of pressure situations.
Good try.
1-1 to Worth. 32,418 for paid attendance tonight. Watching a tense one. Each club with 11 hits. By the way, the Michael Bourne ball was a double in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Michael tonight has 3 straight hits, 2 of them doubles in this game. 2-1 now.
Mark is not particularly quick to home with his delivery. Situation here where the Astros wouldn't pitch out on 2-1, so David Johnson wanted to roll the dice a little bit. Maybe think about sending Ankiel to try to get into scoring position for Worth.
Breaking pitch, and he took it for a ball snap throw to first. 3-1 to Worth now.
Worth a very patient hitter. At times to a fault, and he's taken some criticism in the past for not being aggressive in hitters' counts. But the overall package, the numbers throughout his career have been very good.
Fouls it back.
Aggressive there.
Yep.
Fastball up and in a little bit. Tied him up. Couldn't get the barrel out in front. Full count, and Keel will move with the pitch.
Ball 4. 2 men on for Ramos now. Fifth walk for Houston pitching tonight. Ramos is 1 for 4. He singled in the 6th inning and scored. Ball 1 to Ramos.
Base hit likely ties the game. An extra base hit would provide the go-ahead run, most likely for the Nationals. So the Astros keep the outfield deep.
Ramos chased that one in. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Ramos is hitting 182 with runners in scoring position.
And Ramos will hit that ball off of Carpenter's foot that turned into the 1-4-6-3 double play back in the 7th.
It away, and it's 1-2 now. Bernardino on deck. Minnesota got 2 in the bottom of the 9th and beat Cleveland 2-1.
Staying away. Sliders and cutters off the outside corner. Almost with his first swing really pulled off the ball like he was looking for something middle in. He was trying to pull to left field. Maybe that's why they've stayed away. He's getting real good swings at those pitches out away from them, just basically fighting them off, getting a piece.
Chop goes foul.
Spoiled it. Great pitch right there. Strikeout curveball. You're seeing nothing but hard stuff. Ramos just got a piece.
San Diego shut out Florida 4-0. Tim Stauffer won his 6th. Heath Bell got save number 27. Swung at it and he missed it. Mark Melancon gets Ramos on a strikeout to end this game, and the Astros win it Holding on for win number 4 for Jay Happ. He went 5 2/3 and then suffered through some tense innings as the Nationals kept coming back, and they leave 2 men on base at the end of it. Final score, Houston 7, Washington 6.